Call this meeting of the Ohio County Fiscal Court to order on this 28th day of January 2025 at 5 p.m. I'm going to ask Jason Bullock if he will lead us in a prayer and pledge the flag.
Bow your heads, please. Dear Lord, first of all, we just love you and thank you for all the blessings you've given us in life. We just ask that you continue to be with us tonight as we meet. We ask that you be with our residents in Ohio County, dear Lord. We ask you that things prosper and grow and people's lives are blessed. Dear Lord, continue to be with them when those are down, that you can wrap your loving arms around them and comfort them during this time and situations, dear Lord. Again, just thank you for the blessings of life that you've given us. In your name we pray. Amen. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Before you have the January the 14th minutes, and then you can make a motion to approve. Motion by Bo Bennett.
Second.
Second by Michael McKinney.
On the minutes?
Yes. Is there any discussion, corrections, or additions? Discussion, corrections, or additions? Being none, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, nay. Motion carries. Before you have the bills, claims, payments, and transfers. Need a motion to approve. Motion by Bo Bennett.
I'll second.
Second by Jason Bullock. Any discussion?
Yeah, and what's this ad on Tower?
That's where the county was gifted that tower and the land, so we had to add it onto our insurance.
Okay. How about the airport entrance sign, $1,500?
The airport has no sign out there, and they're looking at getting an entrance sign to it.
Why can't they get a little one like the road department? That's a little high for a sign.
Well, that's up to you.
They haven't ordered it yet, have they?
No.
It's pretty, you know, airport's pretty important for them to know how to
Yeah,
get
but
to it.
$1,500, Judge, that's a little ridiculous. I won't vote for the bills passing.
I
They
do, which the bulk of it is a sign, but I do think that also is, they have a vehicle out there that when people, businesses fly in, they're able to use that vehicle to get around in the county. And there's decals for that vehicle also.
Yeah, the lettering on that too, yeah.
They can get a sign sheet for $1,500.
I believe that they were looking at one similar to the one out here. Not quite as big, but similar to that.
Any more discussion? Any other discussion on the bills?
Last week, or last meeting, that 20,000. Now, what did it come out of the ARPA money?
That was appropriated to my father's house.
We didn't we didn't vote on giving them 20,000. Did it come out of the ARPA money?
Yes.
Well,
At some point it did, but it was in the general fund when we awarded.
it wasn't in the general fund, Judge. On
Miranda, I think
23rd
that
of
was in the
April,
minutes, wasn't
we
it?
designated to give all the rest of the money from the American Rescue Plan for 23-24. Did it come out of that money?
The 20,000, which was voted on by motion in the minutes.
When?
Miranda would have to look it up.
It was after the 23rd.
And then the 182 for the Rosine Museum building were moved into the general fund, and then everything left in the ARPA fund went into the Arch Fund.
Can I have a copy from the April 23rd of all the ARPA money and have what's been spent out of it?
Sure.
Okay. But that 20,000 come out of this?
Yes. It
That's
was voted
illegal.
on. Well, I'm just, you all voted on it, so
We didn't, we voted after the 23rd, and when we appropriated all this money, you can't go back and take money out of it.
that's your alls. That's not me. That's your alls to discuss.
We voted on.
It was voted on.
Okay. Well, now, bills, claims, payments, and transfers. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay.
Nay.
One nay. The bills are paid. On the Ohio County Hospital, Tony's here, but I'm going to tell him, his name's on the agenda, but I'm going to tell what it's about first. As all of you that's on the court then remember, we agreed a long time ago to let the hospital use our bonding authority to fund the expansion on the hospital. There was phase 1 and phase 2. Well, we did phase 1 just like we started with the USDA. Well, time we got ready to do phase 2, there was a better financing opportunity with, I had it marked where I can tell you the name of the company.
Compere, Judge.
Compere. With Compere at a better rate than USDA. So, what I need a motion on is allow me to go ahead and sign the papers with Compere, just like you already authorized me to do with USDA for the hospital expansion and renovation.
How much are they needing, do you know?
It's, well, it's the same as it was in the beginning. What did we say, 10 million? Up to 10.
Up to 10 million, yes.
And that's consistent with what we did along the beginning. We just moved this much of it from USDA over to this Compare.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. And I sure don't want to see Davis County come take our hospital over.
No, we
We
don't.
don't either.
I don't want to see that.
I need a motion to authorize me to
Was
sign
the
the
rate
paper.
change pretty?
So maybe.
I'm sorry.
I'll second for,
Well, Bo already did.
Okay.
Second for discussion.
was the rate change pretty?
Well, the bottom line was originally with USDA, I mean, USDA rate was an extremely nice rate. The problem was that when we got close to finish up phase 1, the USDA representative came to me and said, Tony, we need to have a talk. And he said, the way everything's written, you cannot close this loan until phase 2 is done. Interest rates went up through the ceiling.
Yeah.
So we would not have been able, the amount of money that we were borrowing for phase 2 would have been eaten up with more interest rates. He wouldn't let us close it, so we asked him, could we close phase 1, get it done, start making payments, and then go and basically break it in half. And he said, you know, the amount of money we were borrowing from the federal government was a freckle. He said, we don't want to go to that trouble and expense to do that. So what we decided was to cancel the remaining portion of the loan with USDA, close that loan, and then go out and try to secure it, because phase 2 is a little more complicated because phase 1 was new construction. Phase 2 is we're renovating, so you have to vacate so we can renovate. When he gets done with that one, then we go to the next one. So the period of time was going to be a 2 or 3 year period to get everything completed. And they just couldn't afford that long period of interest.
But the reason we're revisiting back with you because I wasn't authorized to sign the
I was there at that,
paper with.
I was at the meeting.
You were the designated signing.
How much have y'all already paid back, ballpark figure,
You know, Stuart,
percentage-wise?
Well, actually, because we just finalized it here recently, it's not been a significant portion, but we're at 2.25% on that first one. So most of our payment is going to principal.
it was a 20-year, 25-year term,
It's actually a
30-year
30-year term.
30-year term. But at 2.25%, that's a pretty attractive rate. Unfortunately, just because what I said, we would like to continue it, but they're not going to let us do that for another 2.5, 3 years, and that was going to kill us on interest alone.
And this second phase I could get real excited about, but we won't go into that tonight. But it's really going to add a lot of wonderful facilities, a lot of new services, and make what's there now a lot nicer and easier to take care of.
I like our little hospital. I had surgery there Thursday.
Did you? Well, you were in the new surgery building, which was phase 1. And
Yes.
I'm sure that you appreciated the looks of that a little better than the old surgery we had, if you ever had surgery in the old portion of the
The
building.
closets you used to go in.
Yeah, it's a little more state-of-the-art than what we used to have, let's put it that way.
Well, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries.
Thank y'all.
Thank you. We have a resolution for, that we need to, we'd already talked about doing it, but we didn't have a resolution ready. When we talked about, so we get the sheriff a new car from the soap severance money. We need to pass this resolution. Got a number there, 2025-10, and it's the House Bill 6 severance funds. And I need a motion to approve that.
You got a copy of it, Ann?
Yes.
The last page of the packet.
Last page?
Last page of the packet.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Michael McKinney. Here a second.
I'll second for discussion.
Second by Jason Bullock.
Explain to me the bottom part there.
Well, it's non-specific, but what it is, and this is up to this is the maximum amount. It's for the cover over the walkout part of the stage at the amphitheater at the park.
I ain't got that.
Very last page. Very last page.
And the PBA flyover, we already committed
We
to
committed
that.
to that in the sheriff's vehicle, yeah, that's.
And this other's put the flyer, I call it a little cover over the walkout stage. They're needing it at the fair, and then we also are gonna have a big gospel music festival there this spring. And it'd be really good for it too. It's for appearance and also protection of the entertainers' equipment.
What's the PVA flyover?
It's what we've already approved, we've got paid for a payment, 3 payments, where they make this big map for the PBA and the Charlie, emergency management. They map the flyover, and they map the whole county, and the PBA can use it for his tax assessments.
We've been doing it for several years.
Yeah, we've been to, and we pay it, and they fly over every 3 years, we make 3 payments each time. So this is the second third of that flyover payment.
This park construction materials, where's this at?
That's what I said, it's cover over the walkout part of the stage at the amphitheater at the park. Any more discussion? It's the resolution, let's go ahead and vote.
Could we just, I mean, the only thing could we just see a copy of what's gonna be done with that before we, I mean, that's all I'd like to see, how it's gonna be done, the park construction materials.
I'll bring it back to you.
Okay.
Steve-O's working on the plans for it. And by the way, this is the maximum price. It could be less than that, and I think it will be. But he doesn't have the price back on the cover for it yet.
How was it one time, we're just asking, at one time we appropriated some money and we made it kind of generic in terms just for the fact that it was for any kind of county or building projects.
Well, it was
It was-
You can't do that anymore. In order for me to send this to the state, I have to have a written estimate or they will not accept it.
And I understand it, but was there still, what happened to that chunk?
That's in this. I mean, it's here in this one.
Remember we,
Oh, the 100,000 or
Yeah.
150,000?
We never did get it resoluted in.
That resolution wasn't put in.
We talked about, but when we done the resolution, that was left out.
okay.
All right, okay.
Fiven,
Yes.
Morphew,
Yes.
McKinney,
Yes.
Bullock,
Yes.
Bennett, Johnson.
Yes. This participation from the opioid settlement, I need authorization to sign that. You will find it in the, toward the back of your packet, not hardly the back, but toward the back. I had the signature block out now and I lost it.
Is that showing how much the county's getting?
It looks like the lump sum for the state, doesn't it? And then
I
we broke
think
down.
so, yeah.
So it really doesn't say what we're getting.
Well, I did the wrong packet.
Yeah, so this is really no different than did we get it the first time we did?
No, I think this has been added to it, the Kroger part.
So, because we already did it once, so this is, okay.
This is adding Kroger to it.
$110 million.
Yeah, so we need to see, I'll make a motion.
Motion by Bo Bennett,
Second.
second by Jason Bullock.
It can only be, the money's designated, only spend it for certain things, can't you?
Yeah, for drug prevention.
Well, and some of it can be used, like can't some of it be used for ARPA? I mean, not ARPA, I'm sorry.
Arch, is it?
Arch.
Yeah, it is, and we
Yeah.
put that in there.
But we need to diversify a little bit more, and that's kind of
Right.
some things is what she was saying.
Yeah, and,
Yeah.
but even they are, a whole lot is drug prevention of what they do.
I think we can use that, but I think they also want us to diversify it in other programs too.
Yeah, we've asked for proposals from several people.
I don't know how you guys feel about it, but in my opinion, that arch program's one of the most important things we've
It's a
ever,
good program.
I think it's really important.
Okay. We got a motion second, right?
Yes.
All in favor, say aye.
Uh,
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Okay. Our building inspector, which was Mr. Pat Rhodes, he has had a health issue and has not answered any inspection calls or permit calls for over 6 months. So the state got a hold of us, State Division of Housing, said we had to find another one. They're very scarce. We found a man from Whitesville. His name is Troy D. Mills from Whitesville, and he's agreed to serve our county. He also serves parts of he's one of more than one that does Davis County, and he does Hancock County, I believe so. Troy D. Mills.
He gets his pay from the permits, correct? We don't have to be up there.
Right, just like that, he just said we have to have one. He's regulated by the state. All these rules come from the state, but we have to designate who it's gonna be.
We don't get no money off of it.
We don't get any money, we don't spend any money. So I put up the name of Troy D. Mills to be our building inspector.
Is there a set rate? I mean, he can't just charge anything he wants.
It's actually set by the state,
Okay.
and it's shockingly low. If you see, it's a lot less than you'd think it would be. It's hard to figure out how we get anybody to do it for that. Roll call.
Bennett,
Yes.
Morphew,
Yes,
McKinney,
Yes.
Bullock,
Yes.
Bennett,
Yes.
Johnston.
Yes. The next thing is I know about it, it's we need to go in a closed session, hope it's not very long, to talk about the applications for y'all to look at for the treasurer's position. And I have them in there in our little conference room in our office there. So if you'll go in closed session, we'll go over and look.
How long do you think we'll be in there? Just not very long, or do we?
I'm hoping not very, I'm hoping 15 at most.
I didn't know if we want to go ahead and let the people speak, or.
Yeah, I think we'll be pretty quick on
make a motion to go in closed session.
it. Motion by Larry,
Second.
second by Michael. Okay, hope we'll be right back.
Are we going over here? I think we're going over here.
Over that way. The officers got all their stuff in there.
I haven't seen it.
Actually, I did, but I never changed it. Need a motion to go back into open session?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. We're back in open session. And for the record, I will say that no business votes were taken, but as a committee, we are going to bring in at 4 o'clock on the next court meeting, we're bringing in 3 candidates to interview. Just prior to the fiscal court meeting, it should be open, but won't be in here in the main meeting. And there have been, item 9 and 10 has been skipped for different reasons, which you guys know. And we're ready for committee reports. Do we have any committees that have met this time? We'll say that, Michael, this concerns your committee. We've had another visitor landfill, and I'm gonna give you the card there, and we'll set up a visit this spring sometime to see them. And we go where they're at. Which, it's Cincinnati, or they have one in Mount Sterling, Kentucky. So we are working on the, getting ready for the landfill proposals that will be coming in 2027 for that decision to be made. But it's such a big one, we're giving it a lot of time. Okay, no other committees met? Well, we're ready for the magistrates and officials. We're going to start with 5 and go down this time. Larry?
I don't have anything.
Dale?
I don't have anything at this time.
And Bo?
Nothing from Thursday.
Michael?
I just wanted to let the road department know that they did a bang-up job, and did a good job on the roads. I had fewer calls this time than I've had in the past.
We'll agree with that.
And we didn't have as much storm damage maybe where we had a lot of trees down, so maybe that was part of it. And the couple calls that I did have, Nick he was able to give me an update of an ETA of when they would be at that location, and we hit that really close. So I want to give a shout out to the road department.
Yes, they've done a great job, and we've done a good job making sure they had everything they need to work with, so that worked out good. County officials, Landon, you got anything for us?
Last meeting before, I believe, I spoke, presented, it's called Pay My Jailer. It's for trying to collect on bills from past inmates.
Yes.
Y'all passed it, we started, I called them today. They sent about 600 letters out since the first of the year, and they've collected, I think on 2 or 3 of those. So it's going good so far, so good.
Did you say 2 or 3 of those, or?
Yes, 2 or 3. Like I said, but it's not been a full month yet, and they're still getting letters out, so we're hoping that keeps on rolling in. Something's better than nothing.
Good deal. Is Adam back there? Out the hall?
No, sir.
He's gone, okay. So,
I do have something else, maybe just a public service.
go ahead.
I didn't speak to Bess directly, but another person told me that the January cards that you get for your renewal of your license on your car were sent out this morning, which means they will not be, and it not from her office. The people that are actually taking care of that they're behind, and so you won't probably receive your notification of your taxes being due on your cars for January until after February's gotten here. So if you've got a birthday in January, you know anyone that may, that's supposed to be a public service announcement that's supposed to be going out in the next 48 hours, but I heard that just before I came in here. So if you have friends that have birthdays in January or somebody on Facebook, you might ask them.
Thank you, Michael. I guess we're down to public comments. Anybody in the general audience got anything for the good of the body?
Yes, Miss Gracie has something to ask.
Yes, ma'am.
I want to know if you've got your money for your solar yet.
There was no grant actually applied for,
Uh-huh.
so no, there's not been any grants awarded or anything like that to the solar project. And if we do, fiscal court won't be in the middle of it. We won't be in that part of it.
Tijuana, Mexico.
if they are. I did have a meeting with Scout last week, though, Jason Chen and I did, and we iterated all the concerns that we had heard. They were open to it, and one gentleman said he was going to do everything he could to pull it back to where that, off of the one section of farmland that was there, and that subdivision on Horace Martin Loop. He's going to try to pull back from that and just do mainly the strip mine land. He did say that, but we don't have that in writing yet. But he also said they have not got their paperwork into the state yet, and that the schedule now, it looks like they will have it in and will be doing their public hearings here in January or February of 2026. But they have not even submitted their application to the state at this time. The climate, being the mood of the country right now, has changed in the recent days, and I'm not really sure what caused it. There's been a change in Washington in the last few days. I thought I'd get somebody to laugh at that. But all this alternative energy projects are sort of not going very fast right now. And including ours that we are working on, we're trying to sell the methane gas off the landfill. So that's not going anywhere now either. So any alternative fuels does not look that good. But they did say they're going to put their application in, and they'll be doing the public hearing in January, February of 26. Yes, ma'am.
Judge, has Scout applied for a license and an ordinance that you guys passed?
They have not.
When do you expect them to do that?
Well, they didn't nail down in the next few months. Like I said, everything that they've done slowed down. But we nailed them down so we could tell you when the public hearings were going to be. And they said January, February 2026.
But the license will come first, is that correct?
Right. But they have not got that.
I believe there's going to be some changes. I believe Donald Trump and J.D. Vance are going to put a slowdown on this new Green Deal, and I don't think we'll be having these problems.
Now, Larry, if you're not careful, you're going to tip your opinion politically there.
I ain't politically, I'm not for the new Green Deal. I'm not for any of it. I'm not for the battery cars. I'm not for the solar energy.
Yeah, Larry and Dale here went to the inauguration and all the activities in D.C. last week. I did it 8 years ago and kind of been there, done that. Has anyone else got anything for the good of the body?
I would have briefed real quick what he said. We have asked that loop, which is Chris, I talked to Chris, and we've asked that they just pull out of that area. And because if you look at all the maps, I think I counted, I could be wrong, it's hard to say because there's buildings and stuff. You're talking 10 to 12 residents right there, and that's on 85 across the street, which is where Garrett lives, and then on around. So we're hoping, we don't have it in writing, we just got a verbal. And I was trying to think of one other thing we talked about. We have asked for the payment. I can't give you a copy of what we got. We have got something, I'll be perfectly honest with you, I can't tell if it's a payment or what it is. So
and
we're still looking into that too, to see what that option would be. They sent us something, to me it doesn't look like, what I would say is, hey, here's a payment invoice. So we have been sent something and we're just looking into that option. So I can't just give you their papers because they did give them to us.
But Justin has done some things on it, and he and I are talking about it. And like Jason said, from the paperwork we got, it doesn't prove to us that those payments were made, and that's what many people were asking. And we don't have an answer on that yet, but we're still going to dig.
Well, if they're going to pull off there on Horse Mark Loop, are they going on down the road where they're talking about them? Are they going to pull out of that farm ground?
I don't.
The only one we have that we've talked to for sure right now is Horse Martin Loop.
That's the only one.
And then the only other farmland is probably on up the road We would like for them to keep, I know you guys, I understand, listen to your frustration. We would like to keep, if we're gonna do this, because I'm not necessarily, I'm for coal. I mean, we've made, but I'm also for, if we can, some smokestacks, stuff like that, if we can go green in some ways, I think it's a good option to look into if it's safe. But I do think it should be on reclaimed land. I think you look at both options is the best way to go.
You're talking about reclaimed land.
Mm-hmm.
So they're wanting to put some of this behind me, which is a pretty good distance. But I've got a pretty good creek that runs through my cattle ground that is gonna have water runoff off of that reclaimed ground. Are they gonna build sediment ponds and maintain them?
I'll be honest, I'm not sure about that. And I don't, I did hear people talk about chemicals getting in the water. We've been assured that's not gonna happen. I'm not gonna sit here and promise you that it's.
That show that there are, and they can tell us that they're gonna do such and such.
And we can talk to them about that when they come back to us.
I'm going to say the permit process will address the settlement, but
When I talk to them,
nothing there harmful.
I'll check on something like that. You talked about the humming noise, and I think you talked about the spill from, and I guess the only thing I'm thinking of is maybe the batteries would be the only thing that could come. That's the only thing that I've read or checked on, so.
Yeah, look up what a solar panel's made out of. When they go bad, you can't even put them in a landfill. There's nowhere to get rid of them.
No, they were going to they were going to sell those off and
Recycle.
recycle.
What if they break on your land that runs in your lake?
Like I said, I wasn't, they said that wasn't going to happen, but I'm going to ask that question when we have
They assured us there will be no harm.
They have lied a whole lot.
And I'm not saying they haven't.
They have lied a whole lot to a whole lot of people.
They come in my front yard and talk to me and said all my neighbors signed up on it. And come to find out, hardly none of my neighbors signed up.
And like I said, they used a lot of your names last time. There were some names used. And it was rushed. And I think I told you there were some mistakes made last time. I'll be honest with you. But they did use a lot of names. So I thought, they went around and they talked to everybody because,
Y'all talk about jobs coming with them. I run a construction company.
Mm-hmm.
We don't hire people when we go into Tennessee, Indiana, every county around. We take our crew with us. They're gonna bring their crew with them. They're gonna build this. They're gonna
They're out
have
in a year.
permission if they have any problems to send them out.
Yeah.
It's not gonna create a problem.
No, and I saw this last meeting. I think I'm not worried about the income we make in 1 year. It's going to be fine, but that's not going to have income throughout the years. To me, that's good for 1 year, but it's not what Ohio County needs. We need steady income. The only thing I was looking at is that someday when they sow, it's not where we can now, but we need power at our new at our industrial park. We need power for plants. We can't produce. I was hoping someday we could buy off the grid from that, and there'd be a possibility we could. That's kind of what we were looking into.
Why don't you put it out there on
Out there.
your end out there?
Where they're gonna be getting it. We're not getting anything
Well,
from
there's
it.
no-
Well, I understand, but I guess if they looked at that area because of the big rivers.
Big Rivers is there's an alliance between them and,
Doesn't Big River Fire go out of this county? It doesn't even come into this county?
It does. That's why but we hope to someday maybe purchase, get some of it. Right now, you're right. It does.
Between the lines, something like that.
So they're gonna build a grid to supply Alabama, basically.
there were, back to the jobs thing, we have had 2 or 3, there was 2 in my office at one day last week, from representing the trades locals. One of them was the pipe fitters, wasn't Miranda, another the carpenters. But 2 of the trade unions were in to represent it, and they both think that they will get work from it. And there was a third one.
Where do those guys live?
I'm sorry.
Like how many of the county people live or work for that?
Work for the trade unions?
Yeah.
I don't know. But both these guys are from here.
Yeah.
Both ones come to see me work, Ohio County people.
We've been told that surrounding counties have gone through this, and it's a nightmare. Once they let these people in, it turns into a nightmare. They lie about what stuff they're doing, what stuff they say, and it turns into a nightmare.
Well, like we said, I'll say one more thing, because I know we're kind of big, but we are looking into, if we were We have signed a, agreement, but if we have looked at where they have lied to us, or payments wasn't supposed to be made, there, maybe we could have an out clause or something like that, or
We could have
we can take it to litigation where it would hold it up if we have been lied to, or, so we are looking on that. I know that's not gonna make you guys happy right now.
And I'm visiting with Scout as often as I can, that's a company. And nothing's gonna happen very quickly, like I said, the permit stuff, and then they said these public hearings, which is what we were asking about, should be in January, February of '26. But every time that they give, every time that we get any communication with them, I will read it at this meeting.
Hey, Judge,
Yes,
have
sir.
you talked to any of the other judges, Mike McGee over there, or the one up in Henderson, about some of the, I mean, there was a big thing on about the nightmares they're having up there in Henderson County. Have you talked to any of them?
Yes, we got split on it, like in, Judge Lucas over in Brett County, he of course is for it and thinks it's good, but the difference there is they have landowners come into their court meeting because they want it, because they're leasing their land to the solar company. So they have both sides of it, but Judge Lucas doesn't see any problem that they've had yet, that's Brett County. Henderson County Judge, I'll see next Wednesday, I'll ask him.
And then aren't they trying to put something in Muhlenberg County too, or are they under process?
I talked to Judge McGee yesterday, he didn't mention it. Maybe, but he didn't mention it yesterday.
They postponed that one for 2 years.
Yeah, we talked about stray dogs yesterday,
Okay.
but the next time we talk, we'll have to make sure. I will ask him since you brought them up.
Is, on the last, when y'all voted all this in, y'all made changes the same night. Is that correct?
Variances, yes.
Yes. Is that we talked to a lawyer, is that on the up and up?
Yes.
To make a variance?
Yes, it is.
That's extreme variance going from 2,000 feet to a couple hundred feet.
Yeah, in places with it. It kind of gave, the way we did that, it gave us sort of anybody coming in, there's certain areas that it wouldn't be suitable. We thought it was suitable on the reclaimed mine land, but we left it open to variance instead of it being just wide open, so that we basically could say who and who couldn't come, I guess.
But could you change that, since there wasn't, could you change your variances and go back to the original agreement? Just by a simple vote from you guys? And then we could talk about banning the whole thing.
Probably not on Scout's project that they've already got the MOA on. Probably not, I'll ask.
Because shouldn't there have been a notice on that one too? On the variance? Because, I mean, that's a big deal to go from not using prime farm ground to using prime farm ground. I mean, I'm not for it anywhere.
Anywhere.
As I like my countryside the way it is. But that night, y'all changed all that in one night. Respectively, couldn't y'all make the decision to change it back?
That'd be a legal question, but it'd be, we've passed the MOA with that variance on it.
We would
Memorandum of
definitely
understanding.
definitely ask that you investigate that. I
We
think
are.
it's a
We
good-
We are.
And report at the next meeting.
And,
I will add that the minutes from that meeting reflected an MOA or MOU was signed, but it speaks specifically to the addition of other vegetative content around the perimeter and is silent to any other changes that you make. So my petition is that the minutes from that meeting do not accurately reflect the action that was taken by this body.
and one other question I got for y'all is, yeah, this is supposed to be going through Big Rivers, correct?
The
Why
Scout has to
hasn't
deal
Big
with Big
Rivers
River.
put any of this on their fenced in area back down there? Why didn't they want to put any of this? Is there a reason? Do y'all know why Big Rivers wouldn't want to do it? They got an area that's fenced in, nobody's had, most people can't see it, never been there. They got one area down there that's fake grass.
I don't think, I think,
It's
Chad,
100
I think that they're just selling to Big Rivers, that's why they want to be there. I don't know if it's a partner with Big Rivers, I think they're
Just
just,
have a deal to sell it. to
they're
their
just a
client.
deal to sell it, so they're right there. I don't think it's,
But if it was that good a deal, don't you think Big Rivers would want to make it and sell it? I mean, that's it, that's their business, to make electricity. I mean, that's what they do, that's what they've been doing for a long time,
Yeah.
making electricity. I mean, y'all gotta look at this thing and see how bad it is. And I pray that y'all do, just look at it, and I definitely think that y'all should look at the variances, because I don't know if that was done right to begin with. There's prime farm, and y'all mentioned Horace Larkin Loop, and I think that's great. But JoJo Bishop's gonna have to drive right past this, and it's gonna be all around him. He's not here tonight, he was here at the first meeting. It's gonna be all around him. And the landowners don't live around here, so they can get two flips.
I asked all of y'all to just take a country drive down our road. It's one of the nicest areas, nice homes, nice farms, kept up and neat. Just drive down, turn around, and then come back and picture these solar panels out in these fields. How would you like that in your neighborhood? It's as simple as that. And then the health risk on top of that. But just the eyesore is enough. You wouldn't want it in your backyard. None of you would.
I think what we're asking is, when we were here the first time, a couple of y'all said if you had known that they hadn't spoken to us, you might have looked at it differently that night by taking time to talk to us. We heard that from a couple of y'all that night.
Yeah, we told you we were rushed.
Right, and so what we're asking now is, again, we're asking you to go to bat, because we know that a couple of y'all said that. So we're asking you, don't give up. We're asking you to dig and fight and look for things like what we're saying, changing the ordinance. Was that done correctly? If not, is there a way to go back and fix this? We're asking you, the ones that said that you would have voted no if you had had the truth, to stay in there and fight and look for a way to undo this, not just for Horace Martin Loop, but for all of that, all of our community and all the families represented. And I do appreciate for Horace Martin Loop, but I'm here because we're a community. It's not just for my house. It's for everybody here. It's for our grandkids. It's for generations and generations and generations that have lived down there. It's not just people from here and there and everywhere. These are generational properties. And we're asking the ones of you especially that said that you would have changed your vote if you had known the truth, to stay in there and fight to find the truth and to find a way to fix it. So that's what we're asking. We're asking for you to not give up, because we need you to fight for us.
Judge,
Yes, sir.
I have a question.
somebody carries that mic back there where they talk, I can't hear you.
Well, we're,
Yeah, guys, he's having a hard time. Some of us have a hard time.
I'd like to add just real quick, I'd like to say something about that. The ordinance, actually, the amendment to the ordinance was not that we changed the ordinance to where it's gonna be like that for every issue. We changed the ordinance so that we could make variances, because we realized in order to look at the project that they brought before us, that they've been working on for 3 years, that there were a lot of changes. A lot of what we discussed, which we didn't realize that night, and I spoke to you, Chris, about this in Cleveland, is that the things that we asked for, they shook their head yes, and then when they come back, it wasn't to be. I'll be honest with you, and on YouTube or whatever we're on, if I knew that they changed their names 3 times before I went to that meeting, I wouldn't have voted yes. But I can't change my vote now, but I will go to bat for you all. That's all that I can say at this point.
I will keep me, every time I meet with Scout on anything, the progress, I will.
But is it gonna be Scout 2 weeks from now?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's the question, that I don't understand that.
I have a question. Where are they actually wanting to put these solar panels? We heard Horace Martin Booth,
We have maps. If you, we could probably get you a copy of the maps.
Where's your map? Where can I get one?
If you can give me your address after the meeting, I'll send you all the documentation we have.
Thank you.
On the topic of y'all, staying vigilant and pursuing this, we've met as a community. We've talked with some attorneys, and investigation, we found that in Christian County, they use an outside law firm with their fiscal court. They felt like they were, outnumbered, outgunned, kind of like you all were in your meeting with Scout that night. So they used LPO law out of they have offices in Bowling.
Gary, I can't hear you. Who
Can
do
you
they
come
use?
to the mic for recording purposes, please?
I'm sorry.
So they used Elpo Law. There's a gentleman named Matt Johns was their main contact, and used some other associates along with him. But he was pretty crucial in their fight. I'm going to kind of give you some of the notes that I took in talking with Lindsay.
Can you talk into the mic? I'm hard hearing. You care to?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So some notes, stop me if any of this sounds familiar.
It's on.
All right. So Christian County adopted an ordinance, and it was an extension of Hopkinsville's zoning and planning. We don't have countywide zoning and planning. We have some cities that do. They established an ordinance. Let's see. Which was challenged by a solar company, very similar to what happened here. And then it was upheld in a circuit court decision based on conservation issues, which is what a lot of people are raising the issue with. You know, animal movement, water flow, contamination of water flow, lots of those things. So these guys, this Elpo law firm, was very crucial in helping that fiscal court. You know, if you're looking for help, it's a great place to start.
Okay. Matt Johns?
Yep.
Well, appreciate it. Like I said, we'll keep updated and we'll keep talking, and some of these guys I'm sure will visit those places. I will talk to those other judges. Like I said, I've got some positive feedback as well as negative, and like I said, one county judge that I know well, he said the difference there than here, there's a whole lot of property owners selling the land to them or leasing it to them. And here we just have a few, so that makes a big difference, because there they had the voice of those people that wanted them so they could get to rent off their property, which was a lot higher than they get any other way. I did know the price, but I can't think. But we will keep you informed, and we'll keep working on it. With that, we'll call this meeting adjourned. See you all in 2 weeks.